This is such an awkward moment. There is such a strike to all my feelings and all the work that I've done for our family to come here to sort of have this family gathering and say goodbye. It's not even right. It feels so demeaning.
Hello everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Thursday, November 17th, 2022. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Yesterday, we had a very busy day on the sister wives, about Kody Brown and the wives. And then yesterday, I got an email from a neighbor of Kody Brown's over at Coyote Pass. And today I've been learning a lot about Coyote Pass that I had no idea about. I've posted some of the deets over on my Instagram. It's kind of shocking because apparently Cody has done nothing. Shocker. But the neighbors had a lot to say about some of the dealings with the Browns and just some overall like things that were confusing. And I did ask if Robin was literally ever seen sitting on the bench outside, and this neighbor said they never saw anyone sitting on a bench outside at the property. We'll talk more about the neighbors in a minute, but this video we're going to talk about Cody saying goodbye to Christine after McKelty instigates this goodbye party for Christine. And yesterday we talked about McKelty inserting herself in the middle between her mom and her dad by going over to Cody's house and talking to him about her mom, which in the comments a lot of you didn't like. You feel like if McKelty is going to be neutral and not in the middle, she shouldn't be talking to her dad about her mom, and vice versa. Like she shouldn't be talking about her to her mom about her dad. Like it felt to you like she was, not setting good boundaries. Now, I have no opinion. Like I said, some kids don't like to get in the middle of things. It seems like she kind of wants to be in the middle of things because we learned through some clips that were released today that it was actually McKelty's idea to put together this goodbye party for Christine because she felt like they needed that her mom would regret it if people didn't say goodbye to her, even though they literally said goodbye to her like, I don't know, a week ago when they all went over to Christine's house and yelled at her. But for some reason, McKelty thinks they all need to say goodbye again. I don't know why, but Cody had his thoughts and his feelings about this whole idea about saying goodbye to Christine, and he didn't agree with it. Shocking. So we're going to dive into that in this video. Before we dive into that, can you do me a big favor? And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. As I said in my previous video on the Duggars today, we just hit 285,000 subscribers, and we are now 15,000 subscribers away from our goal of 300,000 subscribers by 2023. So thank you all so much. Please hit the subscribe button on the way out, and also turn the notifications on by ringing the bell, and leave a comment if you have something to say. So the brand new clip is courtesy of People magazine, and Kody Brown is irritated about this whole idea of going to Christine's house to say goodbye. And in fact, he calls it demeaning, which you saw in the very beginning clip, of this video. I'll show you the part where he calls it demeaning, and then we'll expand from there and kind of walk through these feelings that Cody's have where he is, again, the victim.
Bless McKelty's heart. She wants to affirm that the family's still a family. And I'm in this sort of weird place where, I'm like thinking, I don't want to see Christine ever again. I don't want to think about her.
Cody acknowledges that he doesn't want to do this. Like, it's so demeaning because of all the work that he put into this family to go to Christine's house to say goodbye to her, because apparently that is just like the worst thing ever. And he's like, bless her heart, McKelty wants to show that we are a united family and we still have a family, but really I don't want to talk about her. I don't want to think about her. I don't want to see her again. That's the gist of it. And I'm like, this was a guy a week ago that was like blaming her for not sticking around and being accountable, who told her that she was running away, who said that, he was so angry about her leaving. He didn't want her to leave. He wanted her to stay in the family And now a week later, he's like, I don't want to ever see her again. I don't want to talk about her. Like, Kody is so all over the place. It's ridiculous. And the funny thing is like, you can say this, but it's not going to happen because you have 6 children together. So the idea that you'll never see her again is impossible because you have 6 children together. So, I mean, but that's lost on Kody. But you can tell just by the tenseness in the shots of like Robin and her kids out that this is not a happy scene for anyone, literally at all. And I don't know why McKelty would want to do this except for ratings. I mean, that's honestly the only thing I can think about.
I don't want to drive past this house ever again and mourn this. I don't want to sit and be in this place again. I don't want to deal with this at all.
Kody, where you actually have to do things sometimes that you don't want to do. But the way that he just described that about how he doesn't want to drive past her house anymore and mourn this, like, that sounds so stalkerish. Do you think Kody during this entire time was like driving past the house being like, Robin, she's still here. I don't know what I'm going to do. Code word, perm. We need to find a way to get her to stay with the family. I mean, that sounds so stalkerish. Why is he driving past the house? He doesn't want to go there. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to do this. Okay, so automatically the tone has been set by Kody. This is going to be very gross. Like, he's coming in with a bad attitude. You know how they would say, like, if you walk into a situation with a bad attitude, it's going to be bad? He's not going to try to make the best of this because he's angry. Because that's what Kody Brown does. He's an angry man. Or maybe he's not. But maybe the kids want to say goodbye. I don't know.
I'm not really sad about Dad and Christine breaking up. I'm really sad that Christine is moving. I'm not gonna, like, sit here and blame her for doing it. Like, if I was in her shoes, I would do the same.
Poor sweet Gabriel. Something about Gabriel this season and just in general, I have had some serious, like, I just feel so sad for him. I know how much he loves Christine, and I know how much that he, like, loves her kids, and he was, like, a little when they moved, but he was still, like, very close to Christine, and he loves her so much, so I'm sure this is so hard for him, for her to leave. But I thought it was interesting because he said, I'm not sad that they broke up. Probably because Gabriel has a brain and can recognize that she's going to be happier by herself without her ex-husband, who's a turkey. So Kody's a turkey. Gabriel understands why she's leaving because it would be ridiculous for her to stay. Why would she stay in a situation where she's not happy? So Gabriel's sad she's leaving, and I think saying goodbye is good for him. But is anyone else going to be there that's going to say goodbye?
Because I was out of town. I was up at my B&B. And also, I don't know how weird it would have been if I was, knowing that she really wasn't interested in having a relationship with me. So why be there and do some big goodbye?
Surprise, surprise. Meri doesn't want to be there because Christine doesn't want to be there, and Christine doesn't like her, and Christine is not nice to her, and she can tell that Christine has disdain for her. Okay, that's not what she said, but she said she was out of town, but she didn't really go because why would she go say goodbye? Because Christine doesn't even really like her and want to have a relationship with her. I mean, she literally has a point. I'm sure Christine doesn't want to say goodbye to Meri. And Meri can always find an excuse to not be at things. She finds excuses to skip out on anything she doesn't want to go to. Meri is like, Kody will go and brood, and Meri will just not go and brood. They have the same personality. They just don't do things the same. Like, they're both brooders. They're both angry. They're both obnoxious. I'm not a fan of Meri anymore. And listen, if Meri wants to be in Utah at her B&B and not say goodbye to Christine, that's fine. But if Meri wants to be the matriarch and the one that brought this family together, you maybe would just want to say bye. And if I were Meri, I would say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I brought you into this family. I'm sorry I trafficked you or groomed you into this family. I'm sorry that I, told you things were going to be a certain way. I'm sorry that I am responsible for this. But she'll never take responsibility.
It's awkward outside. It's weird. It's intense. Nobody really wants to be here. Dad doesn't want to be here. Robin doesn't want to be here. Mom doesn't want to be here. It's weird. It's intense, and uncomfortable.
and thick.
The whole idea for this entire night is McKelty's idea, because earlier in the day, she's like over at her mom's house helping her mom pack up for the day to leave the next day. And she's like, what are we going to do? Are we going to say goodbye? Are we going to go say goodbye? Are we going to go say goodbye? Blah, 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 blah. You know, like, and Christine was just like so not interested. I mean, she didn't think that it was necessary. She said that she'd already said goodbye. She didn't want to do this. And she was sort of just like really just in many ways trying to appease her daughter, and was like, fine, you can call people and invite them over. But Christine didn't want to be there and she didn't want to do it, but she still did it. And Robin and Cody come over, and Robin obviously doesn't look happy. And when you look at the way that it is, you know, Robin and Cody and the kids are on, her kids are on one side, and then Janelle and her kids and Christine's kids are on another side. It's a very clearly divided family. And the thing that I think is what tells me the future of the family is that it's a divided family. That I don't think that there's any reasonable belief that Janelle's going to stick around, because why would Janelle stick around with Cody and Robin when she doesn't like Robin? She has no relationship with Robin's kids. She does not like Meri, and the only person in the family that she likes is Christine. I mean, Cody is her best friend, but Cody has made clear in the last several years he doesn't care about Janelle's living situation. He doesn't care about what she wants or what she needs. All of his money and resources have been put into Robin's life, and Janelle just wants a place of her own. And McKelty is like, it's just really awkward. I guess maybe this was awkward, and I know my mom doesn't want to be here, and I know my dad doesn't want to be here. And again, the only reason I think that this is happening is to create another soundbite for the show. I don't think that McKelty came up with this idea off the top of her head. I think this was an idea put together by the producers, because how else do they all get there that night to say goodbye? It's too perfect. So it's McKelty's idea, but it's probably the producers saying, all right, so tonight we're going to film a scene and everyone's going to go over to Christine's house, and it's going to be really tense and it's going to be really uncomfortable, and you're all going to say goodbye. Now, what I haven't shown is that in the end of last week with this episode, Janelle breaks down and starts crying when she says goodbye to Christine. And that part really gets to me, because I think, you know how you're stuck in a bad position, but your best friend is there, and you're like, well, I'll stick around as long as she's there, and it's going to be tolerable as long as she's there. And then that person who is super important to your kids, because Christine basically raised Janelle's kids while Janelle went to work. So she was their mom. That's a huge loss for Janelle. And her crying just sort of, to me, shows like the love she has for Christine. And I continue to hope that it's true that she's left him, that she's followed Christine out the door, and that their marriage is over. There's all these reports right now. Janelle and Cody have not said anything. TLC has been deleting things. So we're going to hope it's the truth. Janelle's still got her name on all of the properties, so nothing's changed hands there. She still lives in Flagstaff, so she hasn't moved. So there's some indications she might be leaving. There's other indications she's left. Gwendolyn said that she's left. The source said that it was over. I don't know. But this scene is so uncomfortable, and Cody's like, I don't ever want to see her again. I don't ever want to talk to her again. Cody, you just need to stop being a man-child and get over it. Cody is like the kid that can literally never control his emotions. He can never actually just suck it up for like 2 minutes to be an adult. Do you think in the entire time we've watched the show that he's ever acted like an adult? I don't. I've been going back and watching the seasons, and I just watched the honeymoon episode, and he was so disrespectful to his wives by taking that 11-day honeymoon. I'm just gonna say it. But I also learned they didn't go to Hawaii, they went to San Diego. And on top of that, he just did so much in that marriage in those early days with Robin that set the tone for where they are today. And everything that he did, all the choices that he made, is why this is where they're at. And he's angry at Christine for finally having enough and being like, yo, I pick me. I pick my kids, and I'm going on my merry little way. So McKelty and Tony are all like, this is uncomfortable. And Tony's like, and it's thick, like it's thick in the air. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.